Hi, hello, and welcome to a new Boy Time feature. This time on 28 Days Later. I'm your host, Jerry, and as always, I'm joined by Babby.
Oi.
Oi, love. Time to watch a bunch of zombies run around in it.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the hit film 28 Days Later. This was your suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess my main question is why?
Always hard-hitting questions whenever this happens. Um, it's a very influential movie,
It is.
and then it is a kind of household name. So I'm like, I like zombie stuff
Yeah.
within my reason, like within reasoning. So I'm like, we should check it out.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah, but
That was it.
I I knew like one tidbit of the movie, which is the soundtrack selection, which is pretty
Oh,
great.
okay.
But that was about all I knew.
Okay, yeah. So that's a pretty good reason, I guess. And to be honest, it's a blind spot for me too. And I'm someone that watches a lot of zombie movies.
Mm-hmm.
Years of doing the Boy Time podcast, I used to do like the horror marathon in October, where I kind of did a bunch of different stuff. But I did a lot of zombie movies because it's something I'm very interested in, especially the aspect of like modern folklore. And this is
Mm-hmm.
something that I talked about a little bit in the Love the Mom episode we did on Night of the Living Dead, which was last October. But I'm very fascinated with zombies in general because it's the most recent, like, mainstream monster, where it's like
Really.
stuff like vampires or werewolves, other
Now it's all
cryptids.
vampires, but
Now it's all, yeah, it kind of is. It was like Nosferatu, and then there was like a Dracula movie that also came out this year.
sinners.
Sinners, yeah, yeah, it's very much a thing. But, anyways, I'm very fascinated because zombies are only about 50 years old, and they are as ubiquitous as a vampire or werewolf. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
knows what a zombie is. Pretty much everybody knows the zombie rules. And 28 Days Later kind of falls in an interesting place. Came out in 2002, and I'm not sure if you're super aware of where horror was in 2002, but this is very different than an early 2000s horror movie because horror was essentially dead in the 90s. After the like slasher boom of the 80s, everybody was just kind of done, and then Scream came out, and then everybody was trying to do Scream. Meta horror, kind of commenting on, ooh,
Scary movie.
I'm not gonna go in the basement. That's where all of the people die in all those scary movies that I've seen, like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, where they like very overtly reference like other
Mm-hmm.
horror movies and stuff. And this movie doesn't do that at all, which is nice. It's dated in other ways,
Yes.
which we have decided to, for those who may be surprised by how we look in this episode, it's a little bit of a little nod to
Mm-hmm.
how the movie is
Homage.
shot. A little homage. I just wanted to make sure that people didn't think that we are terrible at this if this is the first video that they watch of ours.
Yes.
We kind of know how to do what we're doing.
A little bit of creative liberties here.
Yeah, it's fine. I think it's fine. Whatever. Who cares? That's what I say. Anyways, I guess now that we've kind of set the scene a little bit, where horror is, I guess we'll talk a little bit about this movie and how it's interesting in a lot of ways. It's definitely influential, but I didn't love this movie. And I'm not sure where you are with it. I was like exactly middle of the road with it.
Yeah, I think I have the same feelings. Um, I don't know. It felt like there was a lot of good ideas. It was hindered by certain things. One
Yes.
being like, I think the camcorder thing was cool for the beginning of the movie. I don't know if you needed to film your entire movie on a camcorder. I think it got a little old.
Yes.
And with these newfangled TVs, like one I have, they use AI technology to upscale things.
Oh,
So it
yeah.
looked especially awful.
Yes. Yes. I don't know if my TV has that. My TV is like a couple years old, so I don't know. But there were multiple moments when I was watching it where I'm like, I can't believe this
Yeah.
even passed in 2002 because of how
Hmm.
terrible it looked. To the point where at the very end, it finally switches.
Hmm.
Like, it's when he wakes up, and it's just like like the epilogue. The last
Yeah.
1 minute is shot on like a real camera, but then the rest of the movie is shot like this. And it's really hard to watch a movie that looks like
Yes.
this. But I do want to say that, like, I'm not going to hate this movie, or it's not that this movie made this decision that I don't like it, because there are other movies that are shot on video or
Hmm.
on camcorders that are very nice, like Blair Witch Project or something like that.
Hmm.
Cannibal Holocaust,
Of
whatever.
course, a classic.
Other movies, the same vein. But in those, it's very clearly a style thing,
Hmm.
or they're trying to be evocative of like actually making it like believable that this is consumer grade stuff. But it doesn't make any sense for this type of movie to be shot with this kind of camera. And
Hmm.
I tried to do some research. I'm like, why? Why does this movie look so terrible? This is the
We're doing the
ugly.
same thing while watching it. I'm like,
Yeah,
what's the deal with this?
I know. I was well. First, my first reaction was, "Oh crap, Prime messed up again,"
Yeah.
because I feel
Yeah.
like Prime Video, it's not consistently terrible, but every
Hmm.
once in a while I watch a movie on there and I'm like, "This looks terrible," and then I look it up and it's like, "Oh, the Prime version's really bad," for some
Yeah.
reason.
We did Apple TV, and Apple TV's been pretty spotless when it comes to this stuff. So it also looked bad on there. So it's
Okay,
definitely
well,
just the way the movie
it,
looks.
it is, yeah, because it was shot. And going back to what you like just said about like the beginning part kind of making sense. It was more
Hmm.
born out of necessity than it was an actual artistic thing. I
Yeah.
wonder if the like, and I didn't go too much research into it, but I wonder if the stuff in London where it's like a ghost town, if that was like maybe some of the earliest stuff they shot,
Hmm.
maybe kind of like a proof of concept where it's like, well, what if a guy wakes up and a zombie apocalypse happened while he was in a coma? Which is a great idea.
Nobody's ever done that before.
I don't know if anyone had done
I'll
that
get into that
before. Oh, okay.
at the time, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I like. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, that was the reason they did that, was because they weren't shooting, they didn't have permits. It was guerrilla
Hmm.
filmmaking. They just got up super early when nobody was out and then they just filmed it. I don't know how you do that, honestly. And
Yeah, it was impressive.
it's very impressive. That's like the best stuff in the movie.
Hmm.
Almost. I would say that it's like flawless, but there's many flaws, I think, with that sequence. Mostly that I can't tell what is going on because it's so goddamn blurry. And then it's like I get what they're trying to do, where it's like there's like these really wide shots where we just kind of like see him wandering, and he's like
Hmm.
barely, he's like two seafoam green pixels, and I'm like, this is just not evocative of like, this doesn't give me the message I think it's trying to give, where it's like, wow, look at the scale, it's this massive thing,
Yeah.
this
Yep.
huge square that's normally full of people, and it's a ghost town, it's abandoned. But because I don't see a person, because I just see a blurry little man that I can't make out any distinguishing details, it just kind of ruins it.
Hmm.
And I'm very interested because you said that you knew the music. I thought the music was terrible all the way through,
Okay.
and was like one of the things that kind of stood out to me. It was like camera and music. I'm like, this is so
Hmm.
inappropriate. And specifically with the intro there in London, I'm like, if this was silent, it would be fantastic,
Hmm.
because like the whole point of that is to show. I mean, London is one of the most famous cities in the world. They go by a bunch of like London landmarks, and to see them empty is like genuinely like great,
Hmm.
fantastic idea. But then it's just like really obnoxious. It's not quite new metal. It's just kind of loud. And I'm like, this is like, I get what they're trying to do. It's the very like in your face music editing where it's like, this is dramatic. This is
Hmm.
dramatic. I'm like, no, you don't do that. You just have it be silent because we're trying to experience what he's experiencing. It would be a complete tonal whiplash if it was completely silent and there's nobody there because big cities are loud. And so that's how
Hmm.
you show that there's this big thing that's happened, but they don't do that, which I think is bad, frankly. But I guess I've talked for too long. What do you think of the intro? Do you have
Um,
anything to say about it?
I think it has many potential everything, and it kind of like it has all the correct pieces, but in wrong places.
Yeah.
So it makes it feel, I want to say student film esque,
Yes.
where it's like, this is someone who has done all their research and has a knack for this and has all the correct pieces to make something great, but they kind of fumble the execution, whether that's inexperience or just not taking the proper time or beats to like set it up correctly.
Yeah.
Because you give me man waking up in a coma in a zombie apocalypse, an empty London, in one of the best Godspeed songs. You put
Oh,
those
is that
three
what that
together,
is?
and then
Okay.
it kind of falls flat because they misuse the song, and the way it's shot doesn't give you the sense of scale like you were talking about.
Yeah.
That song is 17 minutes long. The part that is great about that is a slow, gradual build where it does give you like, it's almost silence, but it gives you the ambiance of like this kind of unsettling kind of thing, which would fit the scene perfectly. And it does in the beginning when the music starts and it's quiet, but they jump cut to like 4 minutes later in the song when there's a big build.
Oh, yeah.
And that happens when there's not even any action happening. And then it stops when he goes to the church. And then when he gets chased for the first time, then it kicks in again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why didn't you just have it kick in for the first time right there? Like, that's where
Yeah.
you needed it. The rest of the song is just really eerie ambiance, which is exactly what you want for that opening scene. But
Yeah.
they kind of just like squandered it for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
But I do
Um,
know that like this movie popularized Godspeed a bit because of that inclusion in the movie.
sure.
But I was expecting it to be used better because I knew the lore of that.
Sure.
But I was like, this is how they used it. Like, I feel like there's so many better ways to use it. Like,
Yes.
the people that made this movie had great taste in putting Godspeed and Eno in a zombie movie. Like, Brian Eno in there is really nice as well. But it's
Sure.
like moments were not met correctly. And I think my reference point in this whole beginning of this movie was like, this is just the beginning of The Walking Dead, exactly, where your main character wakes up from a coma about a month after the apocalypse and then has to like piece together what the hell happened and deal with all those emotions and things.
Oh,
Watch the first episode of that show and then watch this movie, and like it blows it out of the water so hard. Like, you're
yeah.
talking about sense of scale, you're talking about pacing, mood, atmosphere. That show knocks it out of the water. For all the flaws that come later in that, they knew what they were doing in that first episode.
Oh, sure.
Um, and it definitely blows this out of the water, but I do understand that this was like the inspiration point for that, because I think even the
Yeah.
comic book came out a couple years after this movie came out.
I think so, yeah.
So whether that idea was born from this or it was kind of just, you know, a coincidence that both these kind of started in the same way, it's a really good setup for it, because like you do a couple of things. You do a Last of Us where it's like you see the night of and it's chaotic and crazy, and then you wake up like a couple months later.
Hmm.
But like I kind of prefer the just complete out of a coma, what the hell is happening kind of like slow build of it. I just feel like they could have done it so much better. But they hang
Agreed.
dong in this version very quickly.
For no
So I will
reason.
give it points for that.
For literally
I
no
always
reason.
give points for that.
Okay, because yeah, we do need to talk about that because that makes no sense. I I feel like I say this
Why was
all
he
the
naked
time.
in a coma?
That's what I'm
First off.
saying.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I don't know if these. I mean, I know nothing about the production other than
Hmm.
the camera stuff because that was what I was interested in.
Yeah.
But like, I have to imagine that the people involved in production have been in a hospital before. It's not like there's just people naked in hospital
That's how your
beds.
hospital was. You're a victim, dog.
Yeah. Even people who are like in like long-term comas, like have been in
Yeah.
there for years, they aren't just naked.
In the middle of his sponge bath when the apocalypse hit, and then it was just freak accident, you know?
It's wild. It's wild. But I do have to say, I think another big gripe of mine, and we'll kind of jump into the rest of the movie, is tone. Because I don't think this movie really understands what it wants to be.
It does shift quite a bit. I did like the road trip adventure where everything was just la 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 for like 20 minutes though.
Yeah. And then they happen across rape soldiers.
Yes.
Okay, we need to start. Let's start
I
with.
don't when you make a zombie film, I don't think the real enemies are human, or like the real thing to be afraid of as humans should be played like this early, especially when this is a series. They got there really quick.
Well, I don't know if this was like they knew that it was gonna be.
No,
a
I don't
thing.
think so, but still, like,
Yeah. No,
it's not as interesting.
It's weird. We'll wait to get to that though, but it does turn into that, which is
It
weird. Really fast for that to happen. 28 days. It's been 4 weeks, and it's already.
I mean, I get it's military people, but like,
That's
you got to
true.
do some kind of, like it was like a boys will be boys kind of like,
I know.
like what's happening?
Or the like, man, it was like crazy. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. But I think it's like kind of shocking because we're kind of, that's what like the intro is over. That's like when he gets, that's when he gets like chased. And then he gets rescued by the two people. And for some reason, the guy is just like Joss Whedon. He's like, his first line is like cracking a terrible joke. He's like, "Oh,
Yes.
you suck. I hate you."
I thought that was supposed to be like an indicator if like he was sick or not.
Oh,
But I think it was written as a joke.
it was, unfortunately. Um, but then it just like, it rubber bands like that, where it's like, haha, funny, goofy joke. And then like 2 minutes later, he gets bit. And then immediately, who's the black lady from The Walking Dead who uses a sword?
Michonne.
Michonne. I know nothing about The Walking Dead. I like the.
But you know the character, so that's a plus.
I know that one. And I know Nope Guy is in it. And The Punisher. Which is pretty awesome.
The Punisher, yes. John Bernthal's great.
He's great.
John Bernthal should have been in this movie.
Cillian Murphy's great. I think the cast is actually pretty solid.
No, it's a good cast. I love Frank. Frank's my favorite character.
Which one is Frank?
He was the dad.
The dad, Brendan Gleeson.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about him because I love Brendan Gleeson.
He's so good.
He's great in everything. And I was very happy to see him here, even though he does die pretty early.
He does die an unneeded death. But we'll get into that.
No. Yeah, we'll get to that. that we have to avoid talking about the rape soldiers, even though
Yes,
it's
that's the last third of the movie. Third? Half? Third?
something like that. It's too much. But it's just like, well, let's just jump ahead. Let's just go to Brendan and whatever. Because who even cares about Joke Guy? He gets killed immediately.
It's true.
I will say that girl, she is not interesting. Where she's just like, I'm gonna kill you. I hate everybody. And then she like meets a 14-year-old girl and she's like, actually, life is worth living. I had no idea that children existed.
This movie wanted to be a 3-hour payoff movie, but it was
Did.
not. So it's like it just doesn't land.
No, it wanted to be like an HBO,
Yes.
very
Yeah.
classy thing, but it really wasn't. I think she's just like she's woman. She's a woman so that when the rape soldiers get
Yeah.
rapey, that they have a reason. They wouldn't be raping Cillian Murphy. Well,
Yes.
I
And I
guess.
have a theory on like that once we get there as well.
Oh,
Which I
thank
don't
God.
think is intentional either, but I was thinking about it last night after the movie, and I'm like, this is bizarre.
Okay. Well, I'm very interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's funny, they meet up with Brendan Gleeson, and Brendan Gleeson's just a nice guy. He's kind of a dumb idiot. He's like, I don't know how to set up a tarp. To collect
But he's got
guys.
riot gear and a taxi cab, so he's playing to his strengths.
He is, and that's fine. But they get like a radio. Where do they get the radio? Is that at the gas
He
station?
just had like a portable radio
Oh, he did.
in his house because he's a nerd.
But then they only caught the signal when Cillian Murphy and Lady were there.
I think he knew it was there, and he was like
okay.
showing them. That's what I kind of felt.
I did like the like his apartment, the windows. He put like all the Christmas lights and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is like very clearly like, hey, we are alive. I'm like, that's kind of a clever way to do it, especially in this period where like electricity still works.
Yeah.
To like get other survivors to help you out.
That's like the best example of like set dressing, I guess.
Yes.
In this movie is that whole area.
Yeah, honestly, it's really g-dang good. But then they hear a signal from the rape soldiers who say, "Come here,
Yes.
we will save you from the zombie apocalypse.
have the cure.
We have to cure the zombies." It turns out you might be a little bit surprised by the answer that they have. It's not been alluded to at all in this review. Whatever. But they decide to get in a taxi cab. Brendan Gleeson runs over a car. He runs over like 3 cars.
He runs over cars and then gets like surprised that he popped a tire somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of funny. And then all the rats. That was a good part too.
I liked the rats. Yeah, the whole tunnel sequence was good too. It's the classic there's zombies coming and we need to do a task and get out of there.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that stuff.
That's classic. That's classic zombie stuff. It's when the movie works, is it when it's doing
Yes.
classic zombie stuff and not being
The movie stops working shortly after. The first half of this movie is very genuinely enjoyable.
It's
other than
solid.
the camera gimmick stuff we talked about. Like
Yeah.
it feels kind of student filmy, but in a like still interesting, like I'm in kind of way.
Yeah. We didn't even talk about the monkeys. God damn it.
Oh yeah, it
We
starts with the
suck.
monkeys. Frick, they should have been in Simeon's.
I was thinking the same exact thing
Yeah.
when this movie happened. I'm like, how did I
It
not
starts
know?
with some PETA activists freeing monkey, and then monkey turns out to be bad, and then monkey kills the entire world.
It's a zombie monkey.
Zombie monkey.
It did kind of remind me of the Rise of the Planet of the Apes movie. I had to think of which one it was. Where they're like doing all these monkey experiments, and then it turns out the monkey virus is what kills everybody. So I wonder if they were inspired by 28 Days Later, or who even cares at this point. But there's a bunch of monkeys, and I was very sad because one weird thing, they like tie a monkey
Yeah,
down
that was strange.
and have them watch like riots.
Yeah.
Which the scientist, like, he's like, they're infected with rage. Like, why are you showing them like riots in the Middle East or whatever? Like they're showing him footage of Saddam Hussein being executed, and they're like, how are we gonna fix
so
this?
angry?
Why are we gonna fix this rage problem?
I didn't understand what the goal was there.
I don't
if they
know.
were like trying to make them rage and like try to figure out the scientific implications, or if they were just infected with rage and then for some reason big guy was just hooked up. Maybe he was the antidote. I don't know.
He's Caesar. He's the ape that's gonna lead the
It's a
revolution.
crossover event. Yeah.
It is. It's like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Daredevil thing. Are you
Yeah,
aware of
maybe we
that?
just didn't get far enough into the series. Maybe in Bone Temple, the apes
Maybe.
from Planet of the Apes show up, and then they have a Bone Temple party or
That would be
whatever goes on
nice.
in that movie.
I would love a 28 Days Later X, the whatever, the new Planet of the Apes
It'd
movies.
be a huge crossover audience, so I feel like it'd be a big hit.
They should do
Should
that.
just we should just start Fortniting our movies.
Finally!
Just random cameos just from out of nowhere.
That's what Space Jam: A New Legacy was.
That's true. That's true.
It was just like every single
Look
Warner
at our
Brothers.
IP.
Whoa, the rapists from A Clockwork Orange are here at the basketball game.
LeBron James.
Finally.
Wild movie.
Oh man. But anyways, Brendan Gleeson, he's angry because they get to the military base and it's empty. That he punches. What does he
A
even
gate.
do? He
He
punches
kicks a
gate.
gate and then looks up at a bird who's chomping on a dead guy.
Yes. Yeah, there's a dead guy that's on a fence, which don't even on top of like a fence
I
with
don't know
like
how he got there.
that's a great question. I was thinking about that the whole time. I'm like, why are their bodies like they were supposed to be like rage zombies? They're not like George Romero, not even
Right.
George Romero. They're not smart. They're just like running rage fueled like beings of hate. Why are they
Which is scary as hell. And we didn't
Yeah.
get enough of that.
No. No. I mean a little bit at the end, but I was expecting like some weapons style, like watching them getting
Yes.
ripped apart or something like that.
I also expected that. And they just kind of like beat on him a little bit. And then I'm like, do these guys even eat people or do they just beat them up?
I think they just beat them up. They got
Okay.
they got the ape rage. Or
So we
whatever.
just made a monkey. That's not even as scary.
It's not scary. The only thing that's scary about the zombies is that they have red eyes.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
They just look like they smoked a big fat doink before they
it does. But whatever. Brendan Gleeson gets some blood in his eye because that's how the zombie virus is spread. It's very specific. If you get blood in your mouth or in your eyes, which let me say something. If that's how the zombie virus is spread and that's how you know the zombie virus spreads that way, why would you use a baseball bat, which is going to like spread blood
Yeah.
everywhere?
Yeah.
I understand, they have a limited arsenal, but it's like,
These
that.
are overpowered zombies, though. Like the
That's true.
transmission is incredibly easy, and they're super fast.
It's true. Yeah.
That's tough.
It's almost as scary as I Am Legend.
Mm-hmm.
Except
Although
there's no Shrek in this movie.
that's true, they don't reference Shrek at all. Probably because, well, it's 2002. I feel like the first one would have been
could've.
enough of a cultural moment already. But
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. It didn't help the movie that Shrek's not in.
no. I suppose it didn't help it. It wasn't on my list of you need to have this in the movie, but
Yeah, no. It
it would have been nice.
would have been nice. But, it's an indie movie. Whatever.
It's true.
Now it's owned by Universal or Sony or whoever the fuck. But Brendan Gleeson turns into a zombie. It's very sad. But luckily, there's a bunch of soldiers in ghillie suits that are just like around, and they shoot him
Waiting.
dead.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is
this was the strange part because I'm like, why didn't you guys come out 5 minutes earlier?
I know, like
Because he turns and immediately there's an entire firing squad mag dumping him.
I know. Were they
But I'm
like
like-
waiting?
But I'm like, is this intentional to break up the father-daughter dynamic? So then it's just Twink Killian Murphy, skinny as hell, with like two women that they can take advantage of.
Maybe.
But I'm like, I feel like they're not that smart because how would they know that he was going to be a dumbass and kick the blood into his eye like that?
That's like so specific.
Yeah.
It's like that almost feels like a Final Destination thing where it's like
Yeah.
so over the top where it's like it's hard to believe it's real. But it's real.
I also think the turning in 20 seconds thing actually takes a lot of drama away from the movie. Because,
Mm,
like, one of the best parts about The Walking Dead is if someone gets bit, they sometimes hide that bite for like 6 hours or so. So
sure.
you're kind of questioning whether they got bit. And then the whole turning thing is slow. So it's like very dramatic and drawn out. And there's a lot of drama that can be had there. This
Hmm.
one is just like, oh, I got some blood in my eye. I'm a zombie in 20 seconds. You have to
Yeah, it's
kill me
fast.
now, which is fine. But I think the pacing of the movie needs to be different then. Like it needs to be more cutthroat and fast paced and action packed for what it is. It's
Yeah,
like it wants to be a slow zombie movie so it can take its time, but you made your zombies incredibly quick and everything happens so fast. So I think there's just a disconnect there.
absolutely. Yeah, I wanted to be like a Resident Evil movie.
Yeah.
Not a good one. The ones
No.
that were made, the ones that were terrible. Uh,
They'll get it one time.
I don't know. We'll
I don't
see.
think they will, but
Well, I don't know if you've seen this, but Zach Kreger is currently making a Resident Evil movie.
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm a little
Maybe
bit, I'm a little
20 years
disappointed.
from now, maybe.
I'm a little disappointed because weapons is fantastic, but
Hmm.
you know, it always happens. I don't know why this always happens. Horror directors stop taking checks. Like keep making original movies. I don't understand. Especially Zach Kreger because he's already an industry icon from being in The Whitest Kids You Know.
It's true. The smash hit.
Smash hit. The IFC original.
Hmm.
Household name. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, the rape soldiers take them to their base and start showing them
Hmm.
around. They have a zombie in a cage. Bad idea. That's
Really
something
bad
I've
idea.
never
Yeah, I
understood.
was just like, wow,
This always happens in zombie movies too.
it
Whenever
does.
whenever there's
Hmm.
like a corrupt military thing that's still around, they're like, "Oh, well we keep all these zombies in cages just to see what happens, just for fun. Just like having them around. They're pretty nice." It kind of makes sense in Day of the Dead, where they're like
Hmm.
an experimental research thing that's like in the fringes of society. And it's like scientists and military people. And the
Hmm.
scientists are trying to actively work on a cure. Makes sense.
Right. I've only seen it done well once,
And what's
and
that?
it's the Michonne character again, where she
Oh,
has two pet zombies, but she cut off both their arms and their mouth, so they can't possibly infect anybody. But
oh,
in that universe, they go off of sound and smell, so they just
mm.
think she's a zombie.
Oh, that's interesting.
See, that's smart.
That's good.
This they just kind of had him in a courtyard with a chain around his neck, and
Yeah.
that was it.
The other good
Which
one.
seems like he got pretty damn close to the guy too.
He
Which
did.
I was like, I feel like you don't know the distance correctly.
I know. They're like, well, don't worry, we're gonna keep him on a chain, but the chain is basically the same distance as the door into the room.
Yeah.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. I do want to note that the lead military soldier guy, I thought it was Ralph Fiennes.
Mhm.
It's not.
It's a doctor.
I know. I know. I always get those two confused because they do look very similar. I think this guy was like the first modern doctor
I
when
think so.
they rebooted it.
Hmm.
I don't care. I like
exactly.
sci-fi, but I do not care about Doctor Who at all.
It's not my vibe.
Too British.
Yes.
And it seems like it has gone completely off the rails in like the last 20 years.
Things that go that far, I think, often do. I think it's inevitable.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, once it was like the showrunner for Sherlock took it over, and then it was just like,
Mm.
oh, now everything has to be like a season-long mystery, and it isn't just like fun
Hmm.
sci-fi.
Episodic. Yeah.
Same thing's
I
happening to Star Trek. Doesn't make any sense to me.
yeah, exactly. I think episodic TV needs to remain a thing, and not everything needs to be a Hulu mini or a HBO miniseries. But
No.
that's a different tangent for a different day.
Just wait for the 28 days later HBO show.
Honestly, would have worked better. I think zombie stuff needs to be long and drawn out. Like I think it needs multiple episodes or seasons because how are you going to get emotional attachment to anything in an hour and 45 minutes about people killing people zombie style? Like that, it's not, it's not long enough to form any sort of like connection or opinion. Like I
Yeah.
was slightly sad when Frank died, but I was more like bewildered about how he just kicked a fence and got blood in his eye. So I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, this is how it is now.
It was pretty sick that we got like blood POV cam
Yes, that was cool.
when he kicked the fence. Then there's like a red hue camcorder
Hmm.
that goes into his eyeball, which is pretty awesome. I wish the movie did more weirdo stuff like that, but it doesn't really.
Yeah, it was trying to. There was also like that weird, what was it, like a dream sequence or something, where there was the top corner of the frame was like there was a smudge or something on the lens, and it was doing like a pan over of the city or something, and then
Oh,
the camcorder panned up, and it was them like sleeping.
I don't remember that at all.
I was just like, is there a smudge on the lens? But they were doing like some weird transition thing, but it was just like it took away from what they were doing because I'm like, what's wrong with the camera?
That was me every single second of this movie. Whatever. Anyways, the rape soldiers are like, aha, it
Mhm.
was our secret plan all along to lure two women here because I promised my men women.
So they won't kill
So they
themselves.
won't kill themselves. Seems like, I don't know. Maybe those people don't deserve to live. If they can't go without pussy for 4 weeks, that they're
20
just gonna
days
kill
later.
themselves. Seem kind of like
I don't think they
scumbags.
were getting it before then either. They're military men, so I
That's
don't know.
true. And specifically, these military men are like the stupidest
Oh yeah, it's the
rubes.
draftees that the frat boys
Yeah,
kind
frat
of.
boys,
Hmm.
ROTC kids
Ooh, yes, 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 yes.
for the English. I
For
don't
the
know if they
British,
have that.
I'm sure you guys have something like that. You're
The
British.
the Green Beret Juniors.
The Queen's Smallman.
That's it. It's probably
The
the
Queen's
Queen's.
future god. I don't know.
I don't know either.
They gotta have something.
Whatever. They're just there to be bad guys.
Hmm.
Um,
And
it,
then Killian Murphy turns into a super soldier, John Wick style somehow.
yeah, we got to talk
But he's
about
like the
that.
skinniest man known like ever.
he, he straight up turns into Batman.
He goes Rambo.
Like, there's like two moments at the end of this movie where like he's in a room and then a character turns a little bit and then turns around and he's gone. I'm like,
Hmm.
he literally
Yeah,
just
it's
did the
literally
Batman. Like,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
thing.
yeah. That was strange.
Like, why? But that is funny because Killian Murphy was in a Dark Knight trilogy as
Okay.
Scarecrow.
Hmm.
So maybe it was setting it up.
I also found it funny when he went Batman mode on that guy with like they have like a belt or something. I don't know. He like knocked some guy out and killed him, and then
Oh,
somehow
yeah.
he moved them into the driver's seat of a Jeep by himself.
Did I watch this movie? I don't remember that at all.
It was the beginning when like they sent the guys out to go look for him because he escaped, and they went back to where
Oh.
Frank got, and then he was doing
Oh.
Batman stuff. Then he knocked out that one guy or killed him. I don't. It wasn't clear. But then like 30 seconds later, he like propped him sitting up in the driver's seat of the Jeep that they took to go find him.
Oh,
And I'm
yeah.
like, how did you drag him and set him up like that?
He's in love with Lady because
I don't know.
I don't know either. Because they're both young people in a 2000s movie
And they're alive.
and they're alive. So naturally they have to smooch,
Yes.
which is nice. I sure hope in 28 weeks later that
Mhm.
they're still together and they're still
I hope
kissing.
so. Yeah.
One
I
thing
guess
that
my question for like the fan base of this franchise,
oh, good.
when does it get good? Like, not as an insult. This movie has a lot of promise, but I was looking
Yeah.
at 28 weeks later. It seems like it was worse received
Oh,
than
really?
this one.
Okay.
Um, it sounded like it was more. I don't know. That one seemed more survival-y. But then
Yeah.
28 years later, I read the synopsis and I was very confused.
Hmm.
where it was like uh, they supposedly found a cure or something, and people are returning back to their home countries
Mm.
and finding family members. I'm like, this is weird.
Oh.
Where does it go from here? And then you get to Bone Temple, and it's like full tribal mode, and I'm like, what? How? I'm very confused on the general plot moving forwardness of this entire series. I don't understand what's,
I'm
and I don't
confused
care
too.
enough to watch all of them because I wasn't blown away enough from this to like be like, let's watch all of these
Yeah.
because I'm not going to do that.
No. No. I mean, I don't know. I've heard good things about the new ones.
I have too, which is why I'm like, are those like the best
I
ones?
don't know.
Or yeah, I don't know.
I know that 28 Weeks Later has Idris Elba in it,
Okay.
which I'm interested in.
Yes.
But I think he's maybe only in the beginning. I've only seen clips of it where, like, I think the beginning of 28 Weeks Later is like the immediate start of it, the outbreak. And he plays like the military commander, and he's like, oh, we can't tell which ones are zombies, which ones are people. Just shoot everybody.
Classic.
Classic zombie movie stuff.
It's true.
So I don't know. I might watch it and see if it's any good.
It might be just like if I didn't have to pay to rent these, it'd be like, okay, I'll throw it
Yeah.
on and just kind of watch it
Yeah.
in the background because it feels like that's all it kind of needs for
That's
these
true.
first ones, it seems. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's I'm interested. I don't know.
I
I
still
might
had a good
watch
time. I still had a good time. It was
I-
entertaining.
I had a
It,
decent time.
it just wasn't like it was an entertaining film, and I'm glad I watched it. But at the same
Sure.
time, I'm like, this was one of those things that's very influential, but doesn't actually hold up to itself.
I
But
don't
like
think
the
so.
things that influenced or were influenced from it, pretty good.
Yes. I want to shout out a movie that I watched. I don't think I got a chance to talk about it on this show. It's a movie called The Night Eats the World. Terrible name, frankly. But it's a
Sounded
zombie.
poetic.
No, I don't. It's just kind of stupid. The Night Eats the World.
The night name.
It's not a great title, but a pretty good movie. It's a French zombie movie, even though I think it's recorded in English, but it takes place in Paris. But it's kind of a similar premise. It isn't like 4 weeks after, it's the next day after a zombie outbreak. But it's this dude, he goes over to his ex-girlfriend's party to get his stuff. Like they just broke up. And he gets there and she's having this huge house party. And so then he just kind of like locks himself in their old room while he's picking up stuff, and then he just falls asleep, and then he wakes up and there's like nobody. But that movie, there's no music. There's like no, like, everything is diegetic. And it's just this slow kind of procedural, and it takes like, I think it's like 2 hours, but it's like a whole like year of what the first year would be like, and we're kind of like cutting in
Interesting.
at different times, and it's like very methodical and like how you actually would live in this apartment building while there's still zombies in it. Spooky. I really like that movie. I think it's a good kind of comparison because it's doing kind of the same thing. It's just not as obnoxious and
Yes.
rapey. I don't think there's any rape in
Yeah.
that movie, which is
I
good.
feel like this movie, I would have liked it a lot better if that whole plot line was just not a thing. I
Yes.
think just the general survival against zombies is much more interesting than the whole you get accepted into a group of people only to find out they're insane and it was a trap and you got to get out.
What?
That's the downfall of a lot of zombie things.
Yeah, yeah. I think George Romero is ultimately to blame because like,
Maybe. Yeah.
which I mean, I guess is technically true of every zombie movie, but like as his like dead movies kept going, it was very clear where it was like
Yes.
the humans are the
It's the
bad
cliche.
guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is fine. I understand that. It's just very hard to do it well.
Yes. Which is why those movies are so good. Maybe we should do some of those.
We should.
'Cause I'm-
I do very much like zombie stuff as well. I think it's one of my favorite like horror genre things
Me
from a
too.
very young age.
Me too.
It got very overplayed about a decade ago, but now we're
Yes.
like far enough removed from it where you can kind of just holistically look at it again
Mm-hmm.
without it being like, oh geez, another zombie thing is coming out.
There's not a ton. Not a ton
Hmm.
being made right now. I guess the only exceptions are like uh, they have to be like legacy stuff. So like a
Yeah.
new 28 Days Later.
Hmm.
What even else? Is there even any other zombie stuff other than like
I don't know.
Last of Us? I guess. I
I
don't.
guess yeah, Last of Us was the most recent kind of depiction, I suppose, and that comes from a video game from that like prime era as
Yeah.
well. So it's kind of and I think by the time you get to part two of that, you're also very disconnected from the core zombie idea, anyways.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Which I
That's.
didn't watch season two of that show. That I'm
I
not gonna
didn't.
watch it, but
I don't know
yeah,
anything about it. I don't know
yeah.
if it's been well received or poorly received or anything like
Hmm.
that.
I'm
Um,
just good on it.
I'm fine.
They did a good job with season one. I'm leaving it there.
Yeah. If I if there's an itch for me to experience that story again, I'll just play the game
Hmm.
because the game is
Exactly.
great.
Yep.
Same with the first one. I'm probably not gonna watch the first season, even though
Yeah.
I might watch the Gary episode again 'cause that was nice.
Gary episode's good. I feel
Um,
like I'm just like burnt out on that franchise altogether, but
mm,
I think it's
well,
because it's been remastered, re-released, whatever TV show, all this kind of stuff. Plus, I played it so much when they came out, so
yeah,
I
yeah,
probably I probably played through both of those like 4 or 5 times. So
yeah. Me too. Even though I do love it, um, it kind of got Sony was like, Naughty Dog's not making another game. We have to keep these people
yeah,
satisfied
yeah. I
somehow.
started getting annoyed. I'm like, you guys aren't gonna do anything. Like you made 2 things and you're done.
They're making a space game, and I don't remember what it's called, but that's
I
apparently
forgot.
was whatever.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that's 28 days later.
Hmm.
What happens? Ralph Fiennes gets murdered,
Hmm.
um, and then this is one aspect of the movie that I actually kind of liked. And if it turns out that the zombie apocalypse is everywhere in the world, I think that's kind of disappointing because something they kind of play around with is that like whether or not the UK, Great Britain, the
Hmm.
island is like a quarantine zone. If it was
Yeah.
just like it just broke out in the UK and then so then they closed off all the harbors and all the airports and nobody's getting in or out. And that's something that within Great Britain they don't know because
Hmm.
there's no radio, there's no TV or anything. And there's one moment where they see a jet in the sky. I'm like, that's genius.
That's the most well done part of the movie.
Yes. Because it's like right as Killian Murphy's like getting ready to be murdered, I think.
Hmm.
Is that where it's like
I think it was laying. Yeah, I think he was playing dead,
all
or it
playing,
was
yeah.
after that, or somewhere around there.
But it's like when he's getting murdered, and that's when he kind of realizes, oh, there's something more going on.
Hmm.
The world is moving outside of this, which I think is like really clever. Like, and the way that it's talked about is really good too.
Hmm.
Where it's like nobody knows what's going on, and I think in a setting like that, it's really effective. Um, Even like the little epilogue thing. I don't know why there's fighter jets flying that low to the
Yeah,
ground.
yeah.
I guess if you are like trying to sweep for survivors, but I don't know.
You're going so fast in that thing. I don't even know if you're gonna be able to see much.
I don't know. Ask Miles Teller or Tom Cruise. Um, but I hope that I don't know. In 28 weeks later, if it turns out that it was all over the world, I think that's kind of disappointing because
Hmm.
I like that idea.
I like just never finding out. I think it's a big question you can have in these kind of scenarios, and I like when it's never really answered
Yeah,
because it plays with scale again. It feels very isolating.
yeah, and it actually like it takes the setting and does something with it that's like
Hmm.
really unique. Like you can't
Yep.
set this in North America or something
Hmm.
because that's like, well, if it happens in North America, then that's like half the world
Right.
is taken over by zombies.
Hmm.
because it goes all the way down to South America and infects the great country of Brazil,
Of course.
which is about half the world's population is in Brazil,
Hmm.
I
Yes.
think. Based on my online interactions,
I don't
that's
think
what I
so,
think is
but
true. Seems like half the people I talk to online are from
Brazil is
Brazil.
just so boisterous that they take up like two people each because of how big personality and insane and crazy they are.
It's
Because
true.
they're just like that, and it's great.
I love
Shout
it.
out Brazil.
Shout out.
It's
Big
very
shout out
different than the
Brazil.
UK, where it's like a small little island, and everybody's like, "Life here sucks, in it," and then everybody around the world's like, "Yeah, you guys kind of suck," and then yeah,
I
Brazil's
went.
different. They're like Brazil #1 all the time, and it's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. I like it. Um, I don't like that they keep burning down their rainforests, but that's whatever.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think that's the Brazilian.
I know
people's
it's not the
fault.
Brazilian people's fault. No, it's not.
That once again might also be trickle down from America and Europe domination.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they should have a zombie movie in Brazil, though. I feel like that'd be fantastic.
There should be more jungle zombie movies.
Yes,
I
yes.
understand that would be like very difficult.
Or just like give me something in, I don't know, freaking like Vietnam or like
Yeah.
somewhere like even like Italy, like where architecture is very blocky and there's narrow streets that wind in and out with a lot of elevations. Like
Yep.
I think what's that game? Dead Rising?
That's the
The parkour zombie game?
oh
What's that one?
that's man, I was just playing it. Dying Light.
Dying Light. That game's genius in its level design.
Yeah.
I love the verticality of that. That'd be so cool in a movie. Because
Then-
like the whole staircase scene and everything in this movie is pretty great.
Yeah.
Like the elevation and all that kind of stuff, very cool.
Yeah. If you have not, I guess this is a little side thing, but if you've not played Dying Light the Beast, which is the new one, it's very, very
Okay.
good. It takes place in like Switzerland. So like you're in the mountains, in the forests, and then like there's little like, idyllic little European little towns,
Villas.
little villas. But it's like so sparse. And it's kind of it's a unique
Interesting.
take on it.
Okay.
Even though the story is bad. And the
The first one wasn't that great either, but
no
the gameplay is fantastic.
the gameplay is really good. I will say, like, for some reason they went all in on the story on the Steam page, where it was like, experience the story of Kyle, the most badass guy.
The white dude.
It's
how it was
yeah,
on the
that's
first game.
that's
It's
what it
just
was.
John Wick style.
Yeah, he's just an angry white dude, and he's like a
Yeah.
raging asshole, and it's like taken straight out of like the early 2010s. And I'm like, we're still doing this, but you can still drop kick a zombie off a roof, which is the best.
The best part was freaking wall jumping, hitting people with a baseball bat, doing a 360 off a roof. Like it was great.
It was awesome. Still is. They just sorry to be marketing. I'm such a shill.
It's the
for
zombie
Dying
hour.
But the new mode that they just added is really, really cool, where you can now, it's the open world, but it's like there's no missions, no nothing. And you're actually like, you can clear out stuff and they stay dead. And so then like, as you're clearing it out, then like human settlements will move in and give you more.
Ooh.
So it's like very kind of reactive.
Mhm.
But that also means that like all of the supplies don't regen too.
Yeah.
So like you have to be kind of careful.
Hmm.
It's
That's
really
an interesting.
it's nice.
It's an interesting pivot. Yeah,
It's
that's a good concept.
Yeah, they just released it like a month ago. So
And you can get it for 15% off with the code BOYTIME.
that's right.
#ad.
Yeah. Even though I said
If it doesn't work, just add us on Twitter and say the code doesn't work, and we'll get that fixed.
we'll get it fixed. We'll get it fixed. We'll send you a G2A copy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it for 28 days
think
later.
that's it.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
It's more interesting to talk about than it is to watch.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's
is fine,
dated,
Mhm.
influential,
Yes.
but
I respect it a good
Yes.
amount because of all the influence it has. But I think as the actual product, just viewing it is just not as. I think everything that came after it has either met it or surpassed it, where
Yes.
it's just kind of like I'd rather be watching this,
I agree.
but this is where it kind of kicked off. So
We all got to start somewhere, but
exactly.
I have gone on record and saying that like classics should not be like exempt from criticism just because they were
Hmm.
the first to do something.
Yeah.
If something that you've seen that comes out after, like, I'm not gonna say that George Romero's Night of the Living Dead is the best zombie movie because it's not. It's really good, but it's not the
Hmm.
best. And I think that anybody who says otherwise is kind of a liar. If they're just like,
Okay.
well, it's a classic, so it has to be the best.
Hmm.
I kind of get that vibe from film fans, film snobs.
Yeah, this feels like the movie where there'd be kind of like a cult following to it.
Yeah, there
And
is.
I don't know if it'd be the kind of cult following where you make a subreddit and make tiny little in jokes that just become so dis like disconnected from the source material and they're just funny and goofy. I feel like this is a take this very seriously kind of cult following.
Kinda, yeah.
That's
Because
the vibe I'm getting.
I was looking through Letterboxd reviews and like, and
The
a lot of
Schneiderverse kind of
kind of
maybe.
not to that extent.
Not that extent, but more in that zone than the goofy, haha, funny Better
Speaking of,
Call Saul kind of fandom.
yeah, but speaking of rape zombies, are you aware of the Zack Snyder movie Army of the Dead or whatever it's called, the Las
Oh,
Vegas one?
yes. Yeah. I
That
haven't seen it, but I'm aware of it.
that movie also does the weird thing. It's like I don't think they ever explicitly say it, but Zack Snyder in the like lead up to it was like, "Oh yeah, we show multiple times in the movies that the zombies capture women in cages, and it's like implied that
Okay.
they rape the women to create more zombies."
Like, you don't need to do that.
Like why? Why? There's literally no zombies already reproduce by biting people.
Yeah.
Why do
It
you
also takes away from the point that it's a zombie movie because all I'm focused on is why the hell are you doing this?
yeah. Uh, watch Dawn of the Dead by Zack
Yeah.
Snyder.
Well, yeah.
It's his best movie. It's better than this movie. I'll say that.
Okay.
I'll say Zack Snyder's Dawn of the
All
Dead
right.
is better than 28 Days Later.
Okay.
That might get me crucified in certain circles, but I don't care. I had more fun watching Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. There's no rape zombies in that movie.
Good. That's a plus.
In that movie, they do take a ship, because I don't know if you know this, but it takes place in Milwaukee, I think.
That's why I know about it, I think.
Yeah, because Zack Snyder went to the University of Madison, I think.
Hmm.
And so they hole up in a mall in Milwaukee, and they're like, "I know, we're gonna we're gonna escape the zombie outbreak by going to a jungle island in Lake Michigan," which is awesome.
Not a bad idea, I guess.
It's not a terrible idea. It just doesn't make sense that there's palm trees on the island.
Yeah. No, yeah. The UP does not have palm trees.
No, it does not. I wish it did, though. That would be nice.
That's the most Wisconsinite thing ever, though. If a zombie apocalypse happens, I'm going to the UP.
Gonna hang out and make some maple syrup.
Oh, yeah, bud.
Meet up with Joe Pera.
Joel Pera.
But that'll do it for this
That'll
episode
do it.
of 28 Days Later, the review show podcast. Come back next week when we talk about 28 Days Later again. It'll be so good. I'm so
We're
excited.
not watching 28 Weeks Later. We're just watching this again and talking about it.
Yeah. Maybe we'll find something new.
We're going Bone Temple, then we're going 28 weeks, and we're going 28 years.
Why
We're
not?
going out of order. Why
Let's
not?
just have fun with it.
Yeah. This one looks the most interesting. I'm going with that one.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what a bone temple is, and I'm kind of intrigued.
I don't either. I don't know how you get to a bone temple from this,
Yeah, I don't know.
but I don't know if I'm intrigued enough to watch all the way to it. So
I kind of am, but I'm also the type of person that watches all the Planet of the Apes movies and all the Fast and Furious
I
movies because
suppose.
they're all
I
trash.
suppose. Yeah.
So,
I have seen all the Fast and Furious movies, except for the last two, I think.
have you seen Hobbs and
Almost
Shaw?
there. I haven't seen Hobbs and Shaw.
It's a classic. Anyways, we have other shows, other programs, other podcasts. We do Boy Time main channel
Me
music,
too, boy time.
Boy Time Classic, some people have called it,
Yes.
where we talk about hit music like, what was the last
What
one
do we
we
just
did?
do? Snail mail?
Snail Mail.
Yes.
Yeah. Where we talk about hit albums like Snail Mail, Heretic, or whatever it's called. And, and up next is Ye Vagabonds, All Tied Up, All Tied Together or something.
We're staying in this corner of the world,
That's right.
cross channel. So
That's right. 'Cause that's an Irish. Irish.
not to be confused with England, but
Absolutely.
same area in the world.
They're both British.
Okay.
Great Britain
Actually.
it refers to both islands. So they're both British.
Okay.
Well, technically, the North is the most British, if you think about it, because there are still. Anyways, we have another show called Love to Mom podcast. That one's just me and my dear mother, where we talk about hit films. Most recently, we did Before Sunrise. Next, we're doing Conclave. But don't worry, we will be doing the Before trilogy. Those are just going to be my picks. So it'll be every other week we'll do a Before trilogy movie. So stay tuned. I just rewatched Conclave today. Spoiler alert, it's very good. Not that you needed me to tell you that. But we also have a new show. I don't know if we've plugged it on this podcast yet. I don't think
yet.
we have.
No.
We have
We are gaming.
Boy Time Gaming. Finally.
Finally.
Literally, finally.
It
Everybody's
is,
been
yeah.
asking.
We started as a gaming podcast channel
Oh.
way back in the day.
We love gaming. We love playing Counter-Strike and yelling at people. Maybe that's what I
getting
like
yelled
about it. I like ruffling some feathers.
It's a good time.
It's very fun.
I only have to edit out a couple of slurs every episode.
Not from me.
Not said by us.
Okay, thank you for saying that. I really want to make sure.
The game has a very colorful community, and
It
sometimes
does.
you gotta censor it a little bit. I don't like to censor stuff, but that kind of stuff you gotta
Yeah, you have to.
clamp down on it.
Yeah.
But it's good stuff.
It's usually those people that I like poking,
Yes,
not in a sex way.
makes for good content.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
for clarifying.
Of course. We just had a new episode of that come out today. As of us recording,
Today.
it's very good.
So like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, about
Might be even be a new one. I doubt it.
Whoa!
But there's 2 on there right now. So
There's two.
that's 40 minutes of content.
Wow. And the new one was very good. The old one's very good, and all of the old
Future
videos,
ones
if you can find them,
pretty
are good.
Yeah, you can find them.
You can.
They're still up.
They're lurking
Gotta
around.
search for them.
Anyways, that's all the plugs. That's all the
too.
stuff we do. What are we gonna do next time? Who even knows? We like to keep
Maybe a
things
good movie this time.
mysterious. I don't know. I want to do Long Legs because we need to watch it more quickly.
We've done so many horror movies.
That's true. That's true. Maybe not. We'll do Long Legs eventually because we do need to compare.
We just did a Nick Cage and we just did a horror movie.
That's true. That's actually 100% correct. We won't do Long Legs. It'll be something else. Treasure Planet. Who cares?
Yes. Who cares anymore?
Who cares?
Sponge Out of Water.
Yeah, why not?
Or the one with Ice Spice in it. SpongeBob Big Guy Pant.
Sponge on the
Okay.
run.
Yes, I think so.
Thank you. Bye.